HamiltonRadio.net. What up? What's good? Say Q, Drew Smitty, Ron Committee, So Unique is back. Yeah. West Trent. Yeah. Hip-hop lives through me, it came from the streets. Rhythm with a break beat, prove who can MC. Metaphors and techniques made you have to check me. My dialect connect peace, lyrics that are wet sheets. Spit it raw and sexy, shorty wanna F me. Swerving to the left beat, on the grind and stress free. Bust a shot of dead beef, hit him in the headpiece. Warned you not to test me, ice bars is Gretzky. Slide it in your wifey, all the women love me. A slight touch of grimy, slice and half a dime piece. Knuckle rapper 5-piece, high looking Chinese. Muay Thai on IP, vivid on your screen, eyes wide like high beams, too low to find me. Switching lanes like car thieves, Starsky and Hush trees. Roll up the best weed, firewater Hennessy, ginseng for energy. Holla mommy Ben Aki, he play hits. HamiltonRadio.net station, the Monk Show, I'm tuned in. He play hits. HamiltonRadio.net station, the Monk Show, I'm tuned in. He play hits. HamiltonRadio.net station, the Monk Show, I'm tuned in. He play hits. HamiltonRadio.net station, the Monk Show, I'm tuned in.
Live?
Mic check.
Okay, man. I'm trying to log in right here. Hold up, let me go back. Can I get some a little bit of volume over here? Hold up. There we go. That's good. You can do just like that. I like that. Yeah. Yo. All right. Tonight we're gonna talk about, like, you know, what's going on. We got the government shut down. Got a lot of stuff going on. We're gonna get into some of that, you know what I mean? We got Courtney here tonight.
Yes.
You might see a little bit more of her. Am I right?
Yes.
All right, so
you know
so she gonna be weighing in on some of the conversation, but I got these videos though. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like I feel like I gotta show this to be like, look, you gotta kind of get prepared because you don't know what it's. It ain't nothing you really want to take too light. You know what I'm saying? You know how he is.
The government getting shut down?
Yeah. Because it's affecting a lot of people, right? And see, my thing is, I'm thinking at on a standpoint like this. You got people now, like, that's not used to going without, having to go without. So, you know, you understand so many people would take more drastic measures to survive than most of us.
That's like starting the Great Depression all
over. Yeah, that type of shit.
All over again. Nah.
Yeah, that type of thing.
Nobody
doing
what I'm
saying? All over the wall joint. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's a lot of things that it implies, like we was saying, we was talking about this deep earlier. It's like it's a lot of things that come with it. It ain't just about him trying to build the wall. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of things that go with that.
Okay.
You know, property line, financial stuff. It affects things that's being shipped, that's going to and fro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's affecting things that's going to and fro, import and export. You know what I'm saying? And those type of things, it get to the point where you know, this gas done went down a little bit, so that's a blessing. You know, it's going down a little bit, but other things are going up. Food, it's already like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and then with this whole thing, what it threatens is, like, if you can have a regular bank account and all that, have your money saved up. In certain banks, most banks only assure you like $100,000. So now how much money you got in there? You got $40 million in there. They probably only going to insure you for what they, for that 100, you know, unless you split it up and did something smart with it. So in the event of a martial law, everything gets seized. So it's like, oh shit, yes, you know. And now before, when we talk about that,
trust banks now? Do you trust banks?
I mean, you can't really. Banks is like, if you got a business and you know, I don't think you should put everything in there just because of it's too vulnerable nowadays. You know what I'm saying? And even with this looming, like, you know, you put in there, you pay your bills. You know, a lot of people, they make it convenient for you to pay your bills online, which is cool. But I'm saying, like, at this point, you know what I mean? Because that's why I'm going to show y'all these videos, yo. Like, and I always like to give shout outs, like, to the videos I play, you know, let them get some shine too. But these are like, you know, videos to wake you up. That's what they being made for, you know what I mean? And like, yo, it's not always the personal, how, you know, anybody in this studio feels about the particular thing, but I'm trying to present to you what it is. Not for what you know what I mean? Don't take none of this personal. Even this video we about to show, take no, like, this is what we, but it's good information. You know what I mean? We're going to give our own opinion on it, and we're going to sit back and think on it, right? We got some time. Hey, we chilling though.
Word.
And I like how the year's starting off. It's real smooth.
Word.
I like to drink this more often. Hey, we got to have a toast right quick. We getting ready to go into this first video, man. Yeah.
A great one. A great year. Great.
It's going to be a good year.
Great.
All right. The first video we got lined up is, what's the, what is it? 60 seconds to ride, or 60 days to rise. So, sit back. I'll be right back with you, and we're going to talk about it.
Practice prepper. Everybody, this is Praxis, and in this video I wanted to talk about something that could become a real problem for real people really soon, and that is a access to food crisis that could be looming in the very near future, within the next 60 days or so. If you're paying attention to what's going on in the news, you know that there is a tug-of-war going on right now between the Democrats in Congress and the President Trump about this border wall and everything. And I'll just say right now, I am going to be mentioning Donald Trump in this video, and I know that's a trigger for some people. Some people have very negative feelings about the current president. Some people have very positive feelings about the current president. So I'll give you two comments you might think that you might like to leave, and they're both equally viable for this video. You could leave a comment saying, Praxis, why aren't you 100% supporting the president all the time? You're a, I don't know, communist or something like that. That would be just as appropriate as leaving a comment that said, Praxis, why do you hate the Democrats? Can't you see they're trying to stand up for something? You know, why are you siding with Trump on everything? Both of those comments would be equally valid. I expect to see both of those comments in the feeds below. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of thumbs down, basically by people that are just getting triggered by some keywords that I say and aren't really thinking about or listening to anything that I say. So enough with that. If you want to leave a negative comment and save your time watching the movie, just leave it now and then you can leave. For the rest of us adults, let's talk about something that's actually going to be playing out over the next couple months, and that is, again, this tug-of-war going on. Right now, the government's shut down, and we're already seeing, some national parks, shuttering some offices, Smithsonian shut down, lots of other things. Lots of government workers are losing their payment, and I know people feel like a lot of government workers, they got these cushy jobs, you're overpaid, whatever. There are plenty of, low-paid government workers that are, hurting now as well. Again, another opportunity for negative comments if you just want to do that and not actually think about any of this stuff. Down below, negative comments, thumbs down. Yeah, so this thing is playing out right now. My personal feelings on it is that I think both sides are kind of stupid. I think the border walls have always been pretty stupid. They've never really worked in any kind of a complete fashion for any, large civilization ever. I mean, even the Great Wall of China, which is probably the most successful application of a wall, eventually the thing didn't end up working out anyway. So I think it's kind of stupid. It's almost as though somebody asked the president to make a kind of a visual political representation of the old adage, like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound, and this is what he came up with. It's a good illustration of Band-Aid on a bullet wound. It's, not really going to do much. The solution to this problem is something far more complicated than just putting up a wall. On the flip side, I think that, the president is asking for $5 billion.
Praxis Prepper.
Hey everybody, this is Praxis, and in this video I wanted to talk about something that could become a real problem for real people really soon, and that is a access to food crisis that could be looming in the very near future, within the next 60 days or so. If you're paying attention to what's going on in the news, you know that there is a tug-of-war going on right now between the Democrats in Congress and the President Trump about this border wall and everything. And I'll just say right now, I am going to be mentioning Donald Trump in this video, and I know that's a trigger for some people. Some people have very negative feelings about the current president. Some people have very positive feelings about the current president. So I'll give you two comments you might think that you might like to leave, and they're both equally viable for this video. You could leave a comment saying, Praxis, why aren't you 100% supporting the president all the time? You're a, I don't know, communist or something like that. That would be just as appropriate as leaving a comment that said, Praxis, why do you hate the Democrats? Can't you see they're trying to stand up for something? Why are you siding with Trump on everything? Both of those comments would be equally valid. I expect to see both of those comments in the feeds below. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of thumbs down, basically by people that are just getting triggered by some keywords that I say and aren't really thinking about or listening to anything that I say. So enough with that. If you want to leave a negative comment and save your time watching the movie, just leave it now and then you can leave. For the rest of us adults, let's talk about something that's actually going to be playing out over the next couple months, and that is, again, this tug-of-war going on. Right now, the government's shut down, and we're already seeing, some national parks, shuttering some offices, Smithsonian shut down, lots of other things. Lots of government workers are losing their payment, and I know people feel like a lot of government workers, they got these cushy jobs, you're overpaid, whatever. There are plenty of, low-paid government workers that are, hurting now as well. Again, another opportunity for negative comments if you just want to do that and not actually think about any of this stuff. Down below, negative comments, thumbs down. Yeah, so this thing is playing out right now. My personal feelings on it is that I think both sides are kind of stupid. I think the border wall is... Border walls have always been pretty stupid. They've never really worked in any kind of a complete fashion for any, large civilization ever. I mean, even the Great Wall of China, which is probably the most successful application of a wall, eventually the thing didn't end up working out anyway. So I think it's kind of stupid. It's almost as though somebody asked the president to make a kind of a visual political representation of the old adage, like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound, and this is what he came up with. It's a good illustration of Band-Aid on a bullet wound. It's, not really going to do much. The solution to this problem is something far more complicated than just putting up a wall. On the flip side, I think that, the president is asking for $5 billion. That's a lot of money to you or me, but to the government, I mean, I know the military spent $5 billion on a toilet seat from time to time. $5 billion in the scheme of the government is not a huge thing. If it can get people fed in the end, I think that it is kind of stupid for the Democrats to be whining and fussing over $5 billion. Sure, I'd love to save that money, use it on something more useful than a stupid wall. Especially in this day and age when we have like high-tech gadgets like ladders and things like that. So I think it's stupid to like get all fussy about $5 billion in the scheme of the national government. So I think the whole thing, I mean, it's theater, it's posturing. I imagine that President Trump knows that the wall is kind of a stupid idea too. I don't agree with him on most things, but I don't think he's a complete moron. I think, he has a brain in there, and, he knows that it's theater and it's, tricking people like you or I into getting all excited about, the things we want to keep on the other side of the wall. Things, not people, things. So anyway, that's my thought on the thing, on this whole, fiasco going on right now. But the reality is, it is going on right now, and whatever your personal opinions are on it, it's happening, and what's going to be happening to a lot of people pretty soon is that their food benefits are going to get cut off. Another opportunity for negative comments below. You could whine about how people don't deserve food benefits, how they're all, every single one of them, 100% of everyone that gets benefits is a potential working adult, and they're all lazy. I'm sure there's some people like that, but I know there's a lot of people that I personally met that could really use those benefits. Disabled people. There are a lot of disabled people that use that stuff. I know there's the stories about how there's plenty of people that aren't disabled that take advantage of them, but whatever. There are a lot of people that depend on them, maybe for good reasons, maybe for bad reasons, but for whatever reason they depend on these benefits. If those benefits go away, those people are going to react to that. And that is a perfect storm for riots, for people that are angry. It's correctly said that our civilization is just a few meals away from savagery and, craziness and people rioting in the streets and everything like that. I know what that feels like, not like in even a major way. I mentioned this story in an earlier video once where there was just one day when I was just really starving. I didn't have access to food, and I was not literally starving. I was just kind of hungry, and I could feel my whole moral compass kind of shifting to where it's like, I wouldn't mind maybe taking something and leaving a sorry note or something, because, my stomach was sending messages to my brain saying, you need to eat something right now, whatever way that you get access to it. And again, that was just one day for me. I'm very weak in that respect. And I'm sure there's a lot of other people that are like me, that are, not even going to take those 72 hours to start really going crazy if their benefits get cut off. So the reason I'm mentioning this is that, be aware of that. Kind of towards the end of January, going into February, these benefits could start getting cut off to people. And if you live in an area where there are a lot of people that depend on that, be aware that people in your area might be getting into that mindset. You know, we can all bemoan it at this point. We can complain about it. We can leave nasty comments about how, you know, President Trump is 100% right. The Democrats are 100% right. You know, cry and, you know, and scream as much as you like. But the reality is this could be coming because both sides are really entrenched in their positions. Trump says there's going to be a wall, and, well, he's not really entrenched. I mean, originally there was going to be a wall and Mexico was going to pay for it. He backtracked from that. Again, negative comments below. Tell me why I'm, like, not supporting the president. And on the flip side, you know, the Democrats are really entrenched in this stance that the wall is ridiculous, which I kind of agree with, and that they are going to, you know, keep this thing going because they think it's silly to pay for it. I agree that it's silly to pay for it, but you know, I don't necessarily agree that it's good to have people, families, children starving to avoid wasting $5 billion. But whether I feel that way or not, that doesn't influence whether or not my neighbors are going to go crazy in about 2 months, and your neighbors too, potentially. So be ready for that. I've got the pantry stocked up. There are other measures which, you know, you can go to other, you know, prepping channels about defense and all that kind of stuff. You know, I'm not going to give any tips on that. I mean, I'm kind of green in that respect too. You know, there are defenses at this house, but, you know, I don't live in a bunker. I don't live in a fortress, and that's something I'd have to deal with as well. Maybe you will too. Think about it. Tick, tick, tick. 60 days, mid-February. If they don't find some way of playing nice, if they don't find some way of getting to rational, it may be something that you, I, and a lot of people are going to have to deal with. That's it. Thanks for watching. Good luck. Hopefully we don't get there, but we might.
Please subscribe and tune in every Friday at 4:30 New York time for a new video. And if you'd like to support this channel, you can do so both through Patreon or PayPal.
this cater to everything, you know. So moving forward this year, I'm trying to be more up to the point about like what's going on. We're gonna bring you some Tyler. I got some music. You know, eventually I'm gonna bring the band in here. You know, the band, we're gonna come up in here. We're trying to get right. You know, we're doing them cover tunes and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, like, cause I play too, and I've never played live on the show before. I've been talk about it. 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 I've been talk about it.
What instruments you play?
I might end up playing something.
What instruments you play?
You know what I'm saying?
Name all the instruments you play.
Let me see something right quick.
Jamil.
Okay. What about you?
Name all the instruments you play. Drums. What else?
Yeah, all the stuff.
Piano,
all the stuff.
what
Yeah,
else?
all that good stuff. Hey, Ruby, give me a little volume on this joint. Yeah, there you go. That's what I needed right there, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Chill Hop Music, man. I fucks with y'all shit. You know what I'm saying? And just like my background music and stuff, aside from my own shit I play. You know, it has all different assortments stuff, and it all sound like stuff that I do anyway. So yeah, I love y'all cats for that, man. And we just give people promotion. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, man, I got another video, and this one is about 25 minutes long. It's along the lines of what you just seen. So you know, we get deep. All these videos could be found on YouTube, but my thing at the time, because you know. I like to be, you know, for people that watch this, you go check this out later on, whatever, you'll see something, you know what I mean? And wanted to open you up to a couple things, like to put you on point. And this is like to my people, this like, you know, as far as the Facebook and everything and the things going out to the world, it's like, okay, most people know about this thing. You know, anything you see on YouTube, a lot of times it's already viewed a lot, or, you know, people got the gist, but some videos aren't, you know? But for the fact that it's there, you can blow it up. So that's like promotion. You want to create a streamer where you're using your podcast to promote somebody else's podcast. Your podcast could blow them up. Their podcast could blow you up. You never know. Hey, we got that video queued up, man? Okay. What's the name of it? 'Cause I can't see it. What's the name of it? I forgot the exact title. So people can, you know, they can go see it for themselves. It's what? Okay, this is 30 things you should do to prepare for imminent collapse. And you know, like I'm saying, this ain't just for people in the hood. This is for wherever you at on the earth, because this going out all around the world. But in the United States right now, people feeling it, man. A lot of people ain't get their checks, yo. Fucked up. Right now, we sitting here chilling. The cats ain't get their check. Wow. All the federal workers, man, look. It was on the news. You ain't see it. I should find a clip or something. It was on the news. That lady on there, one of the ladies on there, she's like, you know, they can't pay the mortgage. You can't go to the hospital because you don't know if your insurance is covering anything. Just like that, no warning, just boom. You know, they can do that. That's the bad thing. They can.
But you can
the wall thing. Remember we were saying about the wall?
Money is so simple to make. It's a printer that prints the money and then prints the money out. Why
I
we
think.
can't just get that money?
Hey, turn our mic up, man. Turn this mic up, man. It's on. Yeah, talk to the mic. Talk to the mic. We want to hear you. We want to hear you because I want to hear your opinion. It matters.
Why? I'm just saying. Why they don't? It's easy to print the money. You can't just print some money. The fuck?
Well, I guess it's not as easy as printing some money.
That's crazy.
You know, I think they really feel like people not really with Trump on this. You see that. It seems like you've seen it open defiance on news reports and stuff like that. But he just adamant. He got the rank right now to be like, and you know, it's a lot of mixed messages in that. So, but the point is, they can freeze a lot of stuff through the executive orders. So the executive orders is through the martial law thing, and because of that, that's an excuse. Like, all right, he's declaring state of emergency. As far as like, okay, people being invaded, just like any other country. But most of us not looking at it when it helps so much, but not really prepared for the bad that's gonna come with it, because it could change your hood too. You know, you should want to be community oriented and know who live around your neighborhood. That's what you have gatherings for and block parties. You know, we need more often so you get to know your neighborhood, who's there. You know what I'm saying? But if you have a different type of crowd whose family values is like, they're, you know, they don't, you know, they don't value life like you value life. So that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? We gotta be with people who value life like you value life, because we got too many people. You know, we spoiled over here. We very, you know, people don't really realize it. You go to these other countries, if you get stranded over there or something, you go, you know what I mean, something happened, you're going to go through some extreme shit. And I got stranded in the Bahamas before, son. You know what I mean? Yeah, I got stranded in the Bahamas before.
I would have been happy like
I
that.
mean, nah, not really. No, it's the side of the island. It's the side of the island where it's dark and it's a shanty town. And they had criminals like, no, they don't, like, you can get got, like something can happen to you.
How you get stranded though?
My dad had a trip for his job. He was working at Bob's Big Boy at the time, and the trip was paid for in America. You know, as far as Miami, we went to Fort Lauderdale, this nice hotel, and back then they had the little keys, the little. It looked like a credit card. That's how you open the door. You know what I'm saying? But it before there was just before it looked like a regular credit card. It had all these little holes and stuff on it. They was doing that, you know, sequential locks and some shit like that. But anyway, we got over to the island, and we had to end up having to pay like $1,100, yo, and that was like how much we had for that trip. So we had to pay more to get back home. It was, you know, it felt kind of scamish, but you know, for the experience of what it was, though, it taught me that, like, yo, your sneakers, your shirts, your socks, things that you buy, your jewelry, it's very valuable to people over there, man. They ain't playing with you. You get your hand chopped off for your ring, your diamond ring or something like that. That's a lot to them. That's feeding a lot of people right there, more than we can imagine. That village would come up off of one ring, because they can sell it to somebody, whatever. You know, things ain't like throwing like that. Like if you come there and get messed up and you digging in the garbage, they got people that's already assigned to dig in the garbage. You know what I'm saying? For real. You know, even when it comes to the crime, you can't just be snatching anybody's purse. They be like, hold up, that's our hustle right there. You can't just be doing that. We already got people for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta watch it outside the country, yo. That was a valuable lesson. I'm thankful to be here, man. Talking, you know, because that's one of the experiences you might have to make a movie about one day. And this is a film company. We got a lot of experience, and I ran with a lot of crews, you know, and had a lot of stuff that just went down, like, you know, can't forget them. So I always tried to create something to put something here, you know, so all the people that I went through those things with, through it, they can have some place to talk about that. And even other people, it's stuff like, you know, you see certain things and it changes you know, like dire situations that you gotta survive with. Like, you could go do somewhere and get stranded. Like, you know, stuff like that happen when your team got to fall together. That's how you build character. You know, you see how everybody rolling together, you know, and you could build and grow with your team. You know what I'm saying? We got that video queued up, man. Yep. Okay, is this something you want to go and you want to talk about something? Look at that smile. She just... Man. You know, we chillin', man. You know, on the Monk Show. Run the video, man. We'll be back with you.
I want to talk about all these gay niggas up in front. That's what I want to talk about.
Oh, man, you want to go to that Ben Bad?
Nah, I ain't gonna go there.
You want to get
Fuck
Ben
that
Bad?
shit.
You want to go get Ben Bad?
I'm glad she told. I'm glad she said something. The fuck?
changed a lot of things.
Yes, it did. I couldn't believe the names though. Niggas, you know, and be hardcore, hard body.
I know.
Hard body.
What can you say, man?
That's crazy.
Hey, I feel like, man, I'm gonna just have to start doing like a whole news section every once in a while, cause this is like news anyway. But these videos, like when we play the videos, like some of them, I watch them before I put on the show, and I'm like, it's just the point I'm trying to get across. So we got that video. Yep. All right, let's roll this, man. We're gonna get into this. I'll be right back with you, yo.
The simple message is the economy is doing well. We have confidence in the robustness of the economy and its resilience to shocks. It's performed well over the last several years. We've created, since the trough in employment after the financial crisis, around 16 million jobs. The unemployment rate has moved way down, and many more people feel optimistic about their prospects. The simple message is the economy is doing well.
Today, millions of Americans say that they believe that the United States is on the verge of a major economic collapse and will soon be entering another Great Depression. But only a small percentage of those same people are prepared for that to happen.
We are in a big, fat, ugly bubble.
The U.S. stock market is going to crash, or the dollar is going to crash.
The global situation has created an environment for financial panic.
It's the biggest bubble I've seen in history, and now we have a bigger stock bubble by far than ever, larger real estate bubbles in many cities, and extreme around the world.
We have the worst financial recovery in 65 years. In the last 8 years, the past administration has put on more new debt than nearly all of the other presidents combined.
There are some dire predictions that, next year, or say a year, 18 months, we have something arriving worse than 2008 and 2009. The downturn is much worse.
It's not a question of will that happen, it's just a question of when.
And the worst scenario for that would be things like Zimbabwe and Venezuela.
The sad truth is that the vast majority of Americans would last little more than a month on what they have stored up in their homes. Most of us are so used to running out to the supermarket or to Walmart for whatever we need that we never even stop to consider what would happen if suddenly we were not able to do that. Already, the US economy is starting to stumble about like a drunken frat boy. When the economic collapse occurs, it will happen quickly. No one will predict it. That's because the signs of imminent collapse are difficult to see. For example, the US economy nearly collapsed on September 17, 2008. That's the day panicked investors withdrew a record $140 billion from money market accounts. That's where businesses keep the cash to fund day-to-day operations. If withdrawals had gone on for even a week, the entire economy would have halted. If the US economy collapses, you will not have access to credit. Banks will close. That means high demand and low supply of food, gas, and other necessities. If the collapse affects local governments and utilities, then water and electricity will no longer be available. As people panic, self-defense becomes more important. When that happens, things are going to get desperate for many people. And desperate people are known to do desperate things. Expect several suicides. Expect several to turn to violent crime. and that includes street gangs and those who already employed as career criminals. With police spread thin and short-handed, street gangs and career criminals are about to have a heyday, taking whatever they want from whoever they can. All it would take for the entire US to resemble New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina would be for a major war, a terror attack, a deadly pandemic, or a massive natural disaster to strike at just the right time to push the teetering US economy over the edge. So just how would you survive if you suddenly could not rely on the huge international corporate giants to feed, clothe, and supply you and your family? Do you have a plan? Unless you already live in a cave, or you are a complete and total mindless follower of the establishment media, you should be able to see very clearly that our society is more vulnerable now than it has ever been. Unprecedented number of large earthquakes around the world, and volcanoes all over the globe are awakening. You could just take a look at what happened to Haiti and in Iceland to see how devastating a natural disaster can be. Not only that, but we have a world that is full of lunatics in positions of power. And if one of them decides to set off a nuclear, chemical or biological weapon in a major city, it could paralyze an entire region. War could erupt in the Middle East at literally any moment, and if it does, the price of oil would double or triple at least. And there is a possibility that much of the entire world could be drawn into this conflict. Scientists tell us that a massive high-altitude EMP blast could send large portions of the United States back to the Stone Age in an instant. In addition, there is a constant threat that the outbreak of a major viral pandemic, such as what happened with the could kill tens of millions of people around the globe and paralyze the economies of the world. But even without all that, the truth is that the US economy is going to collapse. So just think of what will happen if one or more of those things does happen on top of all the economic problems that we are having. Are you prepared? The following is a list of 30 things that you and your family will need to survive when the economy totally collapses and the catastrophic disaster begins. 1. Keep some cash at home. This goes along with the previous point. While it is not wise to keep all of your money at home, you do want to keep some cash at hand. If there is an extended bank holiday, or if a giant burst from the sun causes the ATM machines to go down, you want to be able to have enough cash to buy things that your family need. Just ask people of Cyprus how crippling a bank holiday can be. One way to keep cash secure at home is by storing it in a concealed, safe place. 2. Get out of debt. A lot of people seem to assume that the economic collapse would wipe out all debts, but that will probably not be the case. In fact, if you are in a tremendous amount of debt, you will be very vulnerable if the economy collapses and you are not able to find a job. Just ask the people who were overextended and lost their jobs during the last recession. So please, get out of debt. Many debt collectors are becoming increasingly ruthless. In many areas of the country, they are now routinely putting debtors into prison. You do not want to be a slave to debt when the next wave of economic collapse strikes. 3. Gold and silver. In the long term, the US dollar is going to lose a tremendous amount of value and inflation is going to absolutely skyrocket. That is one reason why so many people are investing very heavily in gold, silver, and other precious metals. All over the globe, the central banks of the world are recklessly printing money. Everyone knows that this is going to end very badly. In fact, there is already a push in more than a dozen US states to allow gold and silver coins to be used as legal tender. Someday, you will be glad that you invested in gold and silver now, while their prices were still low. 4. Move away from the big cities if possible. For many people, this is simply not possible. Many Americans are still completely and totally dependent on their jobs. But if you are able, now is a good time to move away from the big cities. Where the next major economic downturn strikes, there will be a rioting and a dramatic rise in crime in the major cities. If you are able to move to a more rural area, you will probably be in a better shape. 5. Warm clothing and hiking gear, especially good footwear. If you plan to survive for long in a nightmare economic situation, you are probably going to need some warm, functional clothing. If you live on a cold climate, this is going to mean storing up plenty of blankets and cold weather clothes. If you live in an area where it rains a lot, you will need to be sure to store up some rain gear. If you think you may have to survive outdoors in an emergency situation, make sure that you and your family have something warm to put on your heads. Someday after the economy has collapsed and people are scrambling to survive, a lot of folks are going to end up freezing to death. In fact, the coldest areas, it is actually possible to freeze to death in your own home. Don't let that happen to you. Wool sweaters will keep you warm and alive in sub-zero weather, wet or not. Get them at thrift stores. Military are the best. 6. Hiking boots or comfortable shoes as shelter. When you ask most people to list things necessary for survival, this is not the first or the second thing that comes to mind, but having hiking boots or very comfortable and functional shoes will be absolutely critical. You may very well find yourself in a situation where you and your family must walk everywhere you want to go. So how far do you think you will get in high heels? You will want footwear that you would feel comfortable walking in for hours if necessary. You will also want footwear that will last a long time, because when the economy truly collapses, you may not be able to run out to the shoe store and get what you need at that point. 7. Survival gas mask. It's that one piece of survival gear we always associate with chaos, war, terror, and mass destruction. Events where the air we breathe is not safe, where air is toxic, where air is deadly, and the world as we know it is officially over. In my opinion, way too many survival articles on the web begin by pointing out that water is at the #1 survival need. It's not. Now, I'm not saying that clean water isn't crucial for survival. It's essential, but it's secondary. Access to clean, abundant, breathable air trumps water every single time. Why? Because while it's a well-established fact that you can only survive 3 days without water, less time in intense heat, you can only survive a few minutes without oxygen. 8. Axe, shovel, knife. Staying along the theme of staying warm, you may want to consider investing in a good axe. In the event of a major emergency, gathering firewood will be a priority. Without a good tool to cut the wood with, that will be much more difficult. An axe, or more importantly, more useful and more, basically, a good knife. With a good knife, you can make shelter, get some wood, provide food, and make clothing. Other options are a good spade, shovel, such as a Cold Steel, Special Forces, Spetsnaz spade, etc. Get the sheath for whatever you buy. Who needs a Swiss Army knife? This shovel is a chef's knife, axe, grappling hook, entrenching tool, climbing aid, wire cutters, can and bottle opener, sword, shield, band-in cutters, and boat paddle. 9. Self-defense equipment. Whether it is pepper spray to fend off wild animals or something more robust, millions of Americans will one day be thankful that they have something to defend themselves with. 10. Get your ammunition while you still can. Your firearms will do you not much good if you don't have ammunition for them. Already, there are widespread reports of huge ammunition shortages. The following is from a recent CNS News article. The run on ammunition has manufacturers scrambling to accommodate demand and reassure customers, as many new and seasoned gun owners stock up over fears of new firearms regulations at both the state and federal levels. Don't just assume that you will always be able to purchase large amounts of ammunition whenever you want. Get it now, while you still can. 11. A compass and maps to get your BOL by several routes, especially back roads and cross-country. In the event of a major emergency, you and your family may find yourselves having to be on the move. If you are in the wilderness area, it will be very hard to tell what direction you are heading without a compass. It is always a good idea to have at least one compass stored up. 12. A Swiss Army knife. If you have ever owned a Swiss Army knife, you probably already know how incredibly handy they can be. It can be a very valuable and versatile tool. In a true survival situation, a Swiss Army knife can literally do dozens of different things for you. Make sure that you have at least one stored up for emergencies. 13. A hiking backpack. If you cannot carry your shelter, tent, water filter, matches, knife, clothing, etc., you cannot travel with them and provide shelter. If you and your family suddenly have to bug out, what will you carry all of your survival supplies in? Have a good hiking backpack or survival bag for everyone in your family is extremely important. If something happened in the city where you live and you suddenly have to go, what would you put your most important stuff in? How would you carry it all if you had to travel by foot? These are very important things to think about. 14. Shelter. You can't sleep on the streets, can you? Well, some people will be able to get by living on the streets, but the vast majority of us will need some form of shelter to survive for long. So what would you do if you and your family lost your home or suddenly were forced from your home? Where would you go? The best thing to do is come up with several plans. Do you have relatives that you can bunk in with in case of an emergency? Do you own a tent and sleeping bags if you had to rough it? If one day everything hits the fan and you and your family have to bug out somewhere, where would that be? You need to have a plan. 15. Clean water. Most people can survive for a number of weeks without food, but without water you will die in just a few days. So where would you get water if the water supply suddenly stopped flowing out of your taps? Do you have a plan? Is there an abundant supply of clean water near your home? Would you be able to boil water if you need to? Besides storing water and figuring out how you would get to gather water if society breaks down, another thing to consider is water purification tablets. The water you are able to gather during a time of crisis may not be suitable for drinking, so you may find that water purification tablets come in very, very handy. Water filter bottles, pumps and gravity water filters are musts. 16. Lighters or matches. You will also want something to start a fire with. If you can start a fire, you can cook food, you can boil water, and you can stay warm. So in a true emergency situation, how do you plan to start a fire? By rubbing sticks together? Now is the time to put away a supply of lighters or matches, so that you will be prepared when you really need them. In addition, you may want to consider storing up a good supply of candles. Candles come in quite handy whenever the electricity goes out, and in the event of a long-term economic nightmare, we will all see why our forefathers relied on candles so much. There are 17 ways of starting a fire without matches. Learn several and carry the material to do them. 17. A flashlight or lantern. When the power goes off in your home, what is the first thing that you grab? Just think about it. A flashlight or a lantern, of course. In a major emergency, a flashlight or a lantern is going to be a necessity, especially if you need to go anywhere at night. Solar-powered or crank-style flashlights or lanterns will probably be best during a long-term emergency. If you have battery-powered units, you will want to begin storing up lots and lots of batteries. 18. Storing up food. A BOB and BOV should have 72 hours of food. Mountain Hose, granola, PBJ nuts, sunflower seeds, etc. Food is going to instantly become one of the most valuable commodities in existence in the event of an economic collapse. If you do not have food, you are not going to survive. Most American families could not last much longer than a month on what they have in their house right now. So what about you? If disaster struck right now, how long could you survive on what you have? The truth is that we all need to start storing up food. If you and your family run out of food, you will suddenly find yourselves competing with the hordes of hungry people who are looting the stores and roaming the streets looking for something to eat. Of course, you can grow your own food, but that is going to take time. So you need to have enough food stored up until the food that you plan to grow has time. But if you have not stored up any seeds, you might as well forget it. When the economy totally collapses, the remaining seeds will disappear very quickly. So if you think you are going to need seeds, now is the time to get them. 19. Learn to grow your own food. This is a skill that most Americans possessed in the past, but that most Americans today have forgotten. Growing your own food in a way to become more independent of the system, and it is a way to get prepared for what is ahead. 20. A first aid kit and other medical supplies. One more serious note, you may not be able to access a hospital or a doctor during a major crisis. In your survival supplies, be absolutely certain that you have a good first aid kit and any other medical supplies that you think you may need. 21. Stock up on vitamins. A lot of preppers do not think about this either, but this is very important. These days, it is becoming increasingly difficult to get adequate nutrition from foods that we eat. That is why it is very important to have an adequate store of vitamins and other supplements. 22. A radio. If a major crisis does hit the United States, what will you and your family want? Among other things, you will all want to know what in the world is going on. A radio can be an invaluable tool for keeping up with the news. Once again, solar-powered or crank-style radios will probably work best for the long run. A battery-powered unit would work as well, but only for as long as your batteries are able to last. 23. Communication equipment. When things really hit the fan, you are going to want to communicate with your family and friends. You will also want to be able to contact an ambulance or law enforcement if necessary. Having an emergency cell phone is great, but it may or may not work during a time of crisis. The internet also may or may not be available. Be sure to have a plan, whether it be high-tech or low-tech, for staying in communication with others during a major emergency. 24. Personal hygiene items. While these may not be absolute essentials, the truth is that life will get very unpleasant very quickly without them. For example, what would you do without toilet paper? Just think about it. Imagine that you just finished your last roll of toilet paper and now you can't get any more. What would you do? Solution? And a huge dollar saver is to use a lab irrigation bottle. Cost $10. And since most families spend $100 to $300 a year on toilet paper, it will pay for itself in a day or two and save you hundreds of dollars annually. Even if you buy one for every member, you are still hundreds ahead. The truth is that soap, toothbrushes, toothpaste, shampoo, toilet paper, and other hygiene products are things that we completely take for granted in society today. So, what would happen if we could not go out and buy them any longer? 25. Don't forget that special needs of your babies and your pets. Young children and pets have special needs. As you store supplies, don't forget about the things that they will need as well. 26. A sewing kit. If you were not able to run out and buy new clothes for you and your family, what would you do? Well, you would want to repair the clothes that you have and make them last as long as possible. Without a good sewing kit, this will be very difficult to do. 27. Extra gasoline. There may come a day when gasoline is rationed or is simply not available at all. If that happens, how will you get around? Be certain to have some extra gasoline stored away just in case you find yourself really needing to get somewhere someday. 28. A backup plan. This is really your first step and priority. Have backup plans to get your BOL. Lastly, it is always important to have a backup plan for everything. If someone comes in and steals all the food that you have stored up, what are you going to do? If travel is restricted and you can't get your bug out location immediately, do you have a plan B? If you have built your house into an integral survival fortress, but circumstances force you to leave, do you have an alternative plan? The truth is that crisis situations rarely unfold just as we envision. It is important to be flexible and to be ready with backup plans whenever disaster strikes. You don't want to end up like the folks in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. You don't want to have to rely on the government to take care of you if something really bad happens. 29. A community. This is basically your goal. Travel as a community or end up in a community as your BOL. During a long-term crisis, it is those who are willing to work together that will have the best chance of making it. Whether it is your family, your friends, a church, or a local group of people that you know, make sure that you have some people that you can rely on and work together within the event that everything hits the fan. Loners are going to have a really hard time of surviving for long. 30. Keep your prepping to yourself. Do not go around and tell everyone in your area where you live about your prepping. If you do, then you may find yourself overwhelmed by visitors when everything falls apart. And please do not go on television and brag about your prepping to a national audience. Prepping is something that you want to keep to yourself, unless you want hordes of desperate people banging on your door in the future. Sadly, most Americans still have blind faith that our leaders actually know what they are doing and will be able to fix things. Most Americans still are convinced that everything is going to be just fine. And of course, the mainstream media does all they can to reinforce faith in the system. Right now, the US Strategic Grain Reserve contains only enough wheat to make half a loaf of bread for each of the approximately 300 million people in the United States. How long do you think that is going to last? Now is the time to get ready. Now is the time to prepare. The United States economy is going to collapse, and incredibly hard times are coming. Will you be able to survive it when it happens? If you are watching this video, that means that you are probably much more awake than the average American is. Please get prepared while you still can. A great storm is coming, and time is quickly running out. For those of you with loved ones in other states, areas of the country, send this on to them. Send this to concerned friends and family who live in unsafe areas of the country, within 50 to 100 miles of cities, coasts, borders. So do you have any points that you would add to the list above? Please feel free to post a comment with your thoughts below.
Alright, the collapse has begun.
Mic check one.
I know people like, man.
Mic check.
I ain't trying to scare you with none of this. Let me get a little volume on the laptop, brother. A little volume on the laptop. There we go. Alright. Now you can feel how you gonna feel about it, man. This whole government shutdown, yeah, it's gonna affect some people, but then a lot of people is not. Some of us, like, man, if you already off, like, you know, you doing what you doing, you on top of your hustle, man, you know, that shit don't even matter, man. You know, we in the realm of that to where no matter what happens with that, man, we know, you know, that shit don't fuck with us like that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Hamilton Radio staff, man, and all the shows that come here, yo.
Yes.
Y'all make it
Ruben,
what it is, you know what I'm saying?
Number one.
You know what I'm saying? I'll be looking at all the different shows and be like, yo, kind of astonished sometimes because it's a lot to keep up with. We got everything from the paranormal. They come on with Thursdays, the Paranormal Encyclopedia. They come on Thursdays, and they got actually a good show, man. Like, I monitor everything. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't have to say nothing to them. I don't do none of that. They like, oh man, you gotta talk about this. We don't do none of that here. If you got your thing and you coming with, and you can afford our price for, you know, our time, we're gonna do our work to promote your joint.
Exactly.
You know, even when you sleep, you know, one of us is working on something. You know what I'm saying? And this is where we at now, man. We about to get another building, and well, it's already got. We just waiting to move. It's already done. You know, and we just think about plans, man. So I need people to call, you know, get involved, man. You know, y'all want a nightlife? Well, we can be the ones that build it. You know what I'm saying? We get in facilities. We got access to certain things. And if we don't got them, we can talk to somebody to get them. Like, let's make it happen. What's up? You know, it ain't no limit on nothing. You got to think big. You know, we've been doing the things of our caliber for a while. And I feel like, you know, we want to get to the point where we're doing, like, constant stadium shows. You know what I'm saying? Or independently without nobody else. You know how you have certain a company like Coca-Cola, their company, they could do whole concerts and they can invite different artists out, R&B or hip hop or whatever, and have a concert, but they're sponsoring it. Hamilton Radio is at this level. We've been sponsors at many events, big events. You know what I'm saying? We've even broadcasted to the White House before. Obama and Michelle sat there and watched us. You know what I'm saying? And that's real talk. You know what I'm saying? Even we had difficulty with our feed that day, but we got it right. But they seen us, so it was like, damn. You know, that was big for us. You know, just to use broadcast to the president and everything. And it was a gospel show, so it went, went well. Shout out to them, man. And that's coming up soon too, man. Ain't that coming up again? The thing for what is it? For abuse, child abuse awareness. Yeah, that's with Arthur Vano. He does that.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, that's how we got it with the Sixers and stuff. You go look at William Saunders, because I gotta promote the page too. Y'all can look at all the pictures, see all the shit that we did. Y'all can go to Hamilton. We gotta put them pictures up back with all the celebrities. We had like a lot of celebrities y'all grew up watching on TV. They've been here already, or they've been on one of the other shows. Yeah,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It ain't like we speaking from a standpoint we just getting started. We out in the world already. You know what I'm saying? The big fish know who we are. We've been swimming for a minute.
Word.
And
well, all you do is chill with your feet kicked up in the back.
radio game is kind of like...
That's all you do, Ruben.
The radio game has become just like the rap game and everything else. You got to sell yourself before somebody else, before the big heads invest in you. You got to, have some traffic. And we've been having plenty of traffic. We still #1 because of the international traffic.
What number are you? What number?
Oh, go to radioguide.fm.
And what number are you?
We're still #1.
Oh, okay. All right. Say that again.
The station itself, not just the show, but the station itself.
#1.
But #1.
Wow, #1.
Over the AM and FM station. Look, man, a lot of people are trying to find ways to disprove that, but when you go to their charts, that's what
hey, it is what it
is. Look it up. Google it.
Google it.
Google it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but we use this site called how we got these stats is radioguide.fm.
Okay.
Now we don't necessarily have control of that site. That's somebody else. That's the national thing that they use for all the stations.
Right.
So they saying that.
Okay.
That's what
And that's what counts.
So that's what counts. It's like the Nelson ratings for the internet radio. You know what I'm saying? That's the best way I can put it. It's like Nelson ratings. But, they record all the traffic and, we got people trying to divert our traffic. We be having cyber wars up in this motherfucker. Hey, man, we got the other video queued up, man. Huh? All right, we gonna get into this other video, man. You know what I'm saying? And y'all just gotta get prepared, man. We chilling on the Monk Show, man. It's 2019. I feel futuristic. Just feel like doing something different. I like this phone. Look at this shit. This shit got this little back on it, and it was this little thing. We're gonna have to have the difference between iPhone and Androids. I feel like iPhone, they dope, but you can't take the battery out and you can't put the chip in, but they do all this other stuff they do. But the Android, it's all this customization. We're gonna have to do a whole nother show just on that, man. Hey, you ready? You got that video queued up, man? All right, man. Here we go. We'll be right back with you on the Monk Show.
Still live.
Truth Unveiled here, and today I have a critical report to share with you. We're going to be talking about the partial government shutdown, and I'm going to be telling you the truth about this and what your mainstream is not telling you. Now, we're also going to be taking a look at the timing of this, and we're going to be paying more attention. Truth Unveiled here, and today I have a critical report to share with you. We're going to be talking about the partial government shutdown, and I'm going to be telling you the truth about this and what your mainstream is not telling you. Now, we're also going to be taking a look at the timing of this, and we're going to be paying more attention to all of the timing of this and how this is coinciding with other major events that you probably did not know. And of course, exposing the lies and the liars, because what CNN tells you is that a partial government shutdown remains in effect after funding expired for roughly a quarter of the federal government when the clock struck midnight, and this was as of this past weekend, and it is not clear when it will end. Well, what's funny about this? Well, can't they just print out more money? Because what? The money is all fake anyway. But then it says negotiations between congressional Democrats and the Trump administration over the president's demand for a border wall have so far not yielded an agreement, making it likely that the shutdown will continue until after tomorrow. It is even possible that it could still be underway when the new Congress starts for another week or so. Now, of course, we know that Trump and all of them in Congress, that what, they're all puppets for the Illuminati, so whenever they decide that the government starts working again, well, that's when it'll start. But it says here, how long is the shutdown expected to last? The president's incoming acting chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, said Sunday that, quote, it is very possible that the shutdown will go beyond the 28th and into the new Congress during an interview on Fox News Sunday. Now, of course, they're going to feed us their agenda that, oh, it's because of border security and building a wall, when they're the same puppets, the same story over and over and over again. Now, it's also interesting how this is said to be the third shutdown this year. Now, in this video itself, we're not going to go over too much of the actual shutdown, but rather we're going to focus more on the timing of it, because pay careful attention to all of this. Now, during a shutdown, certain national parks are said to be closed, along with certain federal government agencies also. However, pay careful attention how this occurred around the weekend, which is very important, because what does that remind us of? The X-Files Season 10 premiere, that it will happen on a Friday, the weekend so-called, and not only that, but what, the same time as the holidays, because notice how they're coinciding this with Christmas. And if you would like to learn more about that, please take a look in our description box below so you can learn more about it. So it's around the same time as that, and then on top of that, it's also is occurring barely weeks after the power outage report was announced. And we're going to be going over that one more time. Why? Because this is all a test. What are they getting ready for? Remember the shadow government and the continuity of government? Should it shut down? Could this just be preparation before the real one, along with their power outages, and not just any power outages, catastrophic power outages? Illuminati puppets playing their roles. But then, according to a USA Today report, it also says that the shutdown takes place during an especially chaotic time in the Trump administration, including the resignation of the defense secretary after Trump announced withdrawal of U.S. troops from Syria, a plunging stock market, and by the way, the stock market, all of that is planned and controlled ahead of time, and that's just as fake as monopoly dollars too, just like your dollar bills, and Trump attacks on Federal Reserve chairman. Because all they do is print out the money ahead of time. It's all a controlled opposition, it's all controlled, and it's all a controlled shutdown too. Now, if you can recall, last year on this network, we went over the continuity of government from 2018, and I'm going to link that in the description box below, because this is so very important to understand the timing of this. But it says, since the days of the Cold War, the U.S. has had a plan in place to continue the operation of the government following a catastrophic attack on the nation's capital. Again, what are they getting ready for? The 2007 National Security President Presidential Directive 51 directs the geographic dispersion of leadership, staff, and infrastructure in order to maintain the functions of the U.S. government in the event of the nation's capital is, quote, decapitated by what they call a terrorist attack, even though we know who the terrorists really are. Buried deep within the 102-page National Continuity Plan, and we'll briefly look at that again, is the strategy for the mass evacuation and relocation of every federal government agency, including the White House and the military, in response to an exceptional catastrophic event within the national capital region. Well, didn't your government just recently announce catastrophic power outages this month? Then it says each agency is required to have a detailed continuity of operations plan or a COOP in place. Then it goes on to talk about the shadow government. Now, in our video from last year, we also talked about the shadow government, and we even linked a New York Times report from 1994 and also video footage also, where a CNN report covered the same thing. If you would like to see that in detail, please click on the video that's linked in the description box. But this says right here, following a catastrophic national emergency, the president or successor can authorize the establishment of a temporary, quote, shadow government to maintain control of the essential functions of the federal government. President Bush activated the shadow government on 9/11, shortly after the second attack on the World Trade Center. When? Based on what? Controlled opposition. Based on what? The enemy within. Because who really pulled 9/11? Every federal agency has designated key individuals to be part of a, quote, emergency relocation group. These ERGs are assigned to an alternative secure location on a rotating basis and are ready to take over the duty of supporting the national essential functions of this nation in an emergency. Why is your nation so quaint on preparing for national emergencies and preparing you for them too? Preparing your mind, preparing you mentally, preparing you physically, and preparing you even financially too for these things. Why is this the case? What do they know? What are they getting ready for? Because then they go over the COGCON level, as we've gone over before, the Continuity of Government Readiness Condition system that establishes executive branch readiness levels based on possible threats to the national capital region. And they have 4 different levels right here. You can read them here on your own time. I'll link them, and we've gone over them before in our previous video. And then we have here the National Continuity Policy Implementation Plan, which is from Homeland Security Council that was done back in the summer of 2007. This report is about 100 pages, but you can go through it on your own time. We've gone over it before, but it talks about what? How your government and all your agencies are getting ready for what? A national continuity plan in case of a catastrophic event if it were to hit the nation.
In the United States of America, there is a hidden government about which you know nothing.
It was the most highly classified and largest program of its type that I had ever become involved in.
In the United States federal government, there is a super secret agency which controls this shadow government. Its name is so secret, it has never been made public before this broadcast. The federal agency directing the hidden government is so classified that most of the United States elected officials are unaware of its existence.
If you go to members of Congress, if you go to key staffers on armed services or the intelligence committees, and you ask them about the COG program, they often look at you with a blank face.
Within the hidden government, there is a secret plan which could make an unelected official outside the legal line of succession President of the United States. If a nuclear war begins. If a nuclear war begins. If a nuclear war begins.
These individuals would have the right to virtually appoint a new government. You're not going to come to the White House, though, right? crucial.
You got to know one way or the other. This is all that you might ever see of some of the United States' most secret, most expensive, and most important government programs. Beyond these warning barriers, there is a secret world, only hinted at in the press. A world of spy satellites, giant eavesdropping antennas, secret weapons programs. Yet further beyond the government's barriers, there is an even more hidden world. A world of secret programs, about which virtually nothing is publicly known. They're called special access, or black programs, because no light is allowed to shine in and reveal them to the world.
I wasn't even going to go over this, but upon research, this was what I was also led to, which is here, the National Exercise Program, or 2019 through 2020 Principles, Strategic Priority Number 8, Continuity. And it says here, the National Exercise Program, or the NEP, is a 2-year cycle of exercises across the nation that examines and validates capabilities in all preparedness mission areas. The 2019 to 2020 NEP cycle is guided by 9 principles strategic priorities established by the National Security Council and informed by national preparedness data. And I'll be sure to link all of this in the description box below. Now they go over what we just went over, which is COOP, or continuity of operations, ensuring an individual organization that can continue to perform its essential functions, provide essential services, and deliver core capabilities during a disruption to normal operations. What does all of this sound like? It sounds like what? Getting ready for martial law is what it sounds like. Now, if you would like to read this, you can on your own time. However, one thing I found very interesting and suspicious indeed about this report is right here is some of the major challenges where they say an analysis of 15 real-world and exercise after-action reports revealed common challenges, and one of them was this one: establishing plans for public messaging before, during, and after a catastrophic event to avoid confusion among the media and the general public. Remember when your president issued that national test for over 225 million mobile phones across the nation? Remember that? Why do you think they're doing all this? Do you think they're doing all this because they have nothing better to do? Do you think they're doing all this because they're bored? Do you think they're doing all this because they have no other reason to? No, there is a reason. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to mentally condition you to get ready for all of this stuff. Because they want you to get used to all this, just like how they want you to get used to the idea of them preparing for a catastrophic power outage, which according to them will affect tens of millions, if not up to 75 million. That's more than a quarter of the population of America just about. And this was from a quarterly business meeting as of when? December 2018. And then barely a week later, they announced this plan, staged strategic partial government shutdown. That doesn't sound like a surprise or a coincidence, because this was done by the President's National Infrastructure Advisory Council. Now here is the actual report. It's 94 pages long, and it says surviving a catastrophic power outage, how to strengthen the capabilities of the nation. That was released as of when? This month in December of 2018. Now if you would like to learn more, you can watch our video that was done last week on this, where we go into more detail of this report and talk about it, along with all of the government organizations involved and also the real plans and purposes behind this. And then once again, barely a week later, they just so happened to announce the partial government shutdown around the same time as the holidays. Then we went over the FEMA strategic plan, which was a 5-year plan by FEMA from 2018 through 2022, which provides a framework for supporting the U.S. before, during, and after disasters and improving the agency's execution of its fundamental mission of what they call helping people. Please, they're doing the exact opposite of that. And on this network, we've reported how many times of their different plans, of their different emergency drills, such as Gotham Shield, and etc. And their 3 goals is build a culture of preparedness. Once again, they want you to be ready for this. They want you to be mentally ready for all of this stuff when it happens so that you're already conditioned. Then the second one is what? Ready the nation for catastrophic disasters. And then the third one is reduce the complexity of FEMA. Again, the question is, what are they really getting ready for? Please seek Yahuwah and his true son Yahusha, because again, this is not a surprise or a coincidence. Everything that your government is doing, it's already been prepared, it's already been planned ahead of time, but you're prepared also. This is Truth Unveiled here, saying as always, Shalom.
Hi, this is Law Johnston. I'm making this video because something very big and very important is about to happen. First, a little background to kind of get everyone up to speed. It's very important for everyone to understand fully that the United States of America was conquered. And it was conquered a long time ago. It was done in stealth and secrecy. This is historical fact. For decades, great journalists like G. Edward Griffin, Gary Allen, William Cooper, Eustace Mullins, Bill Still, and Jordan Maxwell have all clearly revealed this information to the world. The most critical element for conquering America was to control its currency and its banking system. In 1913, the Federal Reserve Act was passed without being ratified by Congress. At its inception, the Federal Reserve was completely controlled by British banks. They have been controlling the American economy ever since. I'll let award-winning economist Milton Friedman summarize.
What do you think of the Federal Reserve Board today? Well, I have long been in favor of abolishing it. I think there is no institution in the United States that has such a high public standing and such a poor record of performance. The Federal Reserve System was established in 1914, started operation in 1914. It presided over a doubling of prices during World War I. It produced a major collapse in 1921. Then it undertook actions which led to a recession in 1929 and 30. And it converted that recession by its actions into the Great Depression. The major villain in the Great Depression was, in my opinion, unquestionably, the Federal Reserve System. Since that time, it presided over a doubling of prices during World War II. It financed the inflation of the 1970s. On the whole, it has a very poor record. It's done far more harm than good.
Once America's banking system was under control, it was actually very easy to infiltrate the political system. The legislative, the judicial, and the executive offices of government. The supreme goal, of course, being the presidency. I know what you're all thinking, but hold on. The American public is about to learn a dangerous truth. The warning you see on your screen now may go out across social and public media within a few days. I believe we need to take it very seriously. There's a very strong chance this operation will occur over the holidays, as people will all be in their homes, stores will be closed, and there'll be minimal traffic. It is critical that people know about the possibility of martial law being temporarily implemented very soon. And it's also critical that you guys understand why this is happening. Pay close attention. A military intelligence operation of the largest scale has been underway for quite some time now. It is now in phase 5 of 5. Many of you recently received the emergency presidential alert system on your cell phones. This is what it's for. There are over 60,000 sealed indictments right now. Many are for individuals in federal and local government, law enforcement, news media, entertainment, big industry, and big tech. We're about to see something unprecedented in the history of the world. We're going to have to really keep our cool. The purpose of this executive military action is to reclaim the legislative, judicial, and executive branches of the government, to restore the United States Constitution and the government itself to the people of the United States of America. A keystone of this operation is the Federal Reserve. In fact, the Rothschild Central Bank, the World Trade Organization, and the IMF are all coming down right now across the world. This is what's really happening in Europe. Every country has been given a unique opportunity to take back their sovereignty and nationalize their own bank. And I'll tell you what, they're taking this opportunity. Those of you that are familiar with the history and facts surrounding George Herbert Walker Bush may not be surprised to find that he did not die of natural causes. He was tried, beginning in September, for money laundering, conspiracy to violate the Logan Act, human trafficking under the RICO Act. He pled guilty to these charges in order to avoid a military tribunal, which would have included several acts of treason, the greatest of these being the assassination of John F. Kennedy. George Herbert Walker Bush was executed by lethal injection on November 30th, 2018. $10 trillion was seized from the Bush CIA Black Operations Program. It is critical that people understand the possibility of martial law being temporarily implemented very soon. And you also need to know why it is happening. All my sources indicate this is very real. If martial law has to be declared during this military operation, you will be informed by the emergency broadcast system. Just follow directions, try and stay out of the way. There will be a full disclosure to the people of the United States. In fact, all of this is being done right out in the open on the 4chan and 8chan networks. Thousands of civilians have been helping in this process. The operation is known as Q. Research what is happening and spread the information across your networks. Get your cameras ready. We may be able to document this. For everyone else, sit back and watch the show. Provisions are in place to keep the store market shelves stocked, to keep the utilities running, and to keep the economy running. Hold on tight. Our prayers have been answered. Our entire reality is about to change. God bless and Godspeed.
Here an excerpt of the very
Alright, we back live. Oh, can I get the laptop with it? Can I get my move back, man? Can I get my move back? There we go. There we go. Fantastic. Fantastic.
So what y'all want to talk about?
Like, now, while the video was playing, we're talking about like what's the best plot to do the best spot to do a party.
Ruben, what's this number, Ruben?
Yeah, you can also
the number
call in.
To call in.
Yeah, you see, it's not on the screen. It's not on the screen.
Yeah, it is. What is it? Call in 609-807-2492. Call in.
You might have to type it in there. No, I'm talking about on her live. On her live. I'm talking about on her live on her phone.
Listen.
So the people who want to interact, they can call in and we can talk. Like, you know, we want to get something cracking, man. We want to get it on, man. You know what I'm saying? We can make something, you know, get a whole nother thing spawned, get some venues spawned off. And I know, like, every time you do a venue, there's always somebody there at that venue who spawn off their thing. And, like, six or seven things can come from one thing. That's the beauty of starting something. You know, we want to bring about new talent, too. You know what I mean? And show other people how they can run their own venues and everything. So, you know, we got to start somewhere. But we at this level of doing it, so which is kind of cool, where we can organize things and put them together, put certain people together and have some nice functions. I'm looking for weekly stuff, like, you know, Hamilton Radio has its own network of a few thousand people already. You know, we could just do Hamilton Radio stuff. You know what I'm saying? And from people from Sunday to Friday, you know what I'm saying? We got our thing. I'm like really the only one on Friday. Gino has a thing he does every other Friday with a guy that comes on before my show. But pretty much from Sunday to Thursday, it's regular business hours. We take off on Saturdays, you know what I'm saying? But Sunday is the day.
Okay.
You know, Sunday is the day. Sunday is the day where, you know, we got a lot going on. Mondays, you know, Monday, Tuesday. It's a nice experience. And we adding on, we got new people coming. So we're the only station. This is why we're number one. We're the only internet radio station that has different shows like this. See, that's the niche. Other people they just playing music. They don't have other people's shows on there.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We got other people that come through and have their thing and bring their flavor to it. Plus, we got different channels.
Okay.
So it ain't just about one thing. You're not bound by. You go to channel 1, we hear the main music, and then you go to channel 2 where most of the talk shows, and there's a VIP channel. You know, you get some hip hop and club and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? And we're lobby music all around the world. Hamilton Radio. Yeah, you gotta get on the mic, man. You gotta get on the mic, though.
Two new channels?
You gotta get on the mic and say that people gotta hear you. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody can hear you, though.
Oh, you in the back.
Yeah, fuck all that.
All right, come.
Fuck all that shit, man. Turn that motherfucking mic on and speak up.
You don't want to talk on the mic?
Yeah, man.
Mic, check your mic. Check your mic.
Put this motherfucker on the spot. Let him know it's real. See, you be trying to clown me, but you know. It is what it is.
I want some Taco Bell.
Shit runs right through you.
It don't run through me. And that shit be so. I get the fiery Dorito taco, not the Supreme.
Taco filled
and I add tomatoes to it.
Tomatoes to it?
Oh my God.
It'd be good, though.
The fiery Dorito taco added.
They got a lot of new stuff on their menu.
Because I don't like. But yo, they tacos.
But guess what?
Testing.
But guess what?
All right.
Motherfuckers ain't paying us. We got to get tacos as sponsors. They just got free promotion and we get paid for it.
Word. And listen, the taco fiery Dorito.
Don't
oh
mention their name.
God.
It's free promotion. Unless they want to drop a couple of G's.
Yeah. Now, what would we just talk about? Now, we're trying to get this party started, right? I know cats want something close to Trenton. All right, now let's talk about Trenton. Now, we on Courtney Live right now. Now, we on my live, too. Right? So we on both of the live. All right. We trying to we talk about for after hours included.
Right.
It could be regular hours, but after hours included. After hours are 2 to 6 in the morning. Are you ready for that?
Without no bullshit.
I mean, this is I done it for years. I know when to do it, when to stop. But I'm just saying, though.
Bullshit? Because you know when people get too drunk,
the wee hours in the morning. The wee hours in the morning.
Calm down.
Now, see, the thing is, we out here. We already in the Robbinsville section.
That's what I'm saying. Like when they drink after hours,
we have
to
get
retarded.
Yeah, but my thing is that you doing that on your own risk out here.
That's why
you know, you doing that on your own risk. And we can draw a crowd because there is a crowd that does come out here. That love it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna attract them like, yo, man, you know, for this project. We got other projects going on, but for this particular project right now, we want you to have your license and registration right if you're gonna be cutting up. You know what I'm saying? If you come in, you gonna start. If you come in, you know, you got your shit on. You
That's why, bitch. I need a ride.
At least have your shit
I need
right.
a ride.
I mean, for real.
Can I get a ride?
He's not lying, because if you don't have your stuff straight,
oh man,
they'll take you in. But if you got any warrants in any other towns, they will call them.
Bitch, give me a ride, bitch. I ain't fucking with.
So if you got a warrant
I ain't
like
fucking with
Pemberton, and you get locked up in Robbinsville, Pemberton will come and pick you up.
No.
I'm saying,
No.
I'm saying though, but once you go out there, you know you faced with them consequences with it. But I heard a lot of people say
especially in Burlington County. Oh, y'all know how Burlington County do it, bitch. Burlington County, I don't like Burlington County like that.
Boardtown bad too. Boardtown.
That's Burlington County. That's Burlington
County.
County.
That's where actually Boardtown borders.
That's where it start.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where it start.
Yeah, boy. They ain't dang. But you got a lot of spots in Jersey like that. Hillsborough like that. Manville like that. Tuckerton, New Jersey's like that. You know, you got a lot of space. You got to explore this town, though. I mean, the state.
You got to explore it, but damn.
Y'all ever heard of Deal City?
Can we live?
Have y'all ever heard of Deal City? Deal City is in Long Branch. There are stars that live there. Big time stars like Danny DeVito. They probably be back. Why you put my name out there? Larry Holmes. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got property out there, and it looks like fantasy land, yo. It ain't like you could just, you know, go in their crib, but it's like lavish. You want to see that lavish thing. Jersey got the lavish stuff. Right. Like, you don't got to go nowhere. Did y'all know that Beverly Hills in L.A., that's a replica of Jersey, yo? L.A. is a replica of Atlantic City. For real. Like, that's basically what it is. But they got their life, you know, since they've been, you know, because California, they have to change. You know, no disrespect. So, you know, I got to get out there, and I don't want you cats, you know, wilding out on me. Because one thing I am proud about the West Coast, it's been probably more than 15 years since I heard about any Blood or Crip shooting each other.
Thank God for that.
I mean, anybody notice?
That gang violence really calmed down, and I thank God for that.
I mean, you just don't hear about it.
A lot of nights.
It's not in no mainstream news about no Bloods or Crips shooting. It might stuff still go down, but it's not in the name of Blood or Crip or no like that, like it was back in the day. And it's been years since you heard anything like that.
People focus on their music and their business and trying to build something. I really see that in the town, and like, that's why I'm proud of them. And I'm like, because everybody trying to be an entrepreneur. I noticed that in the town. Everybody want to be an entrepreneur, which is good. That's what you should do. You should want to own your own shit. You should want to own your own brand. You should want to be, you know, make your own money. You should want to be your own boss. And that's what I learned about being a resident in Trenton. That it's bosses. It's bosses out here.
A lot of bosses.
A lot
of bosses. Trick got an overwhelming stream of bosses, and they're coming to a town near you to boss you up and tell you what to do and how to run your company and how to make your money out and how to make it a gold mine. It can happen. You know, that mind state is being fostered here, and we don't have to take it with a grain of salt and say, oh, no, it's not just no ratchet shit. This shit is some real shit she just said. It's like real.
But it's
we got a lot of people with that mentality. Why not put it to use?
That's how I learned it from living in Trenton. Yeah. You got to be a boss living in this town.
Yeah. I mean, basically.
You do. You got to have that bread.
And it's not just that.
To live right and comfortably.
But see, the thing is, this is what we saying about Jersey. Even if you don't got bread, you can still live comfortably. The people who don't work will live more comfortably than the people who work through the welfare system and Section 8 and all that type of stuff. Because you can get assistance here.
But you appreciate your shit more when you work for it.
I'm just saying, you right. But at the same time, there are people who use their system for whatever reason. But those things are there.
It's people, but it's people that really out here that's really out here that need help though.
Yeah, but I'm
so
saying
I can understand
the comfort level. Like you get treated nice as opposed to when you go to another state, or you don't get all them the little perks that come with it. You know, it's a little bit more harsher. You know, we got it good in Jersey, man. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, big up to the state, yo.
Word.
This where we from. Why not represent it, man? This
You
where
right.
we from. I mean, even the things that's, you know, grimy about it still can be added as a positive. They call it dirty Jersey in a lot of ways. Yeah, because, you know, Cass is a real grimy about certain things, but you got a lot of high intellectual things coming out here, too. And it's real key in the slave trade. This was the last state to abolish slavery, so, you know, any black people that's doing stuff here now, we're history makers. Like, we never thought we was going to be out here in Robbinsville doing anything, you know, being number one at nothing. You know what I'm saying? But here he is doing it. And it's here, you know, this show is 394 shows. 394 shows. It's between 394 and 95. I'm not sure, but it's in that number. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, we've been doing it that live. We made a lot of progress. We into the new year now, and we're where we're supposed to be at. You know what I'm saying? We make enough money to, you know, to do the things that we doing, and, you know, trying to keep blessed, man. We want to do some good things for the neighborhood. We want to bridge a lot of things, especially on this show. We want to bridge a lot of obstacles that couldn't be bridged before. You know, this isn't a racist thing. All types of people are welcome here. You know what I'm saying? This is an international radio station, and for the people that come here that already participate and make it what it is, thank y'all. You know what I'm saying? You made my new year great. You know what I'm saying? It keep food in my refrigerator. It keep my dogs fed. It keep a couple dollars in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? And I got a nice truck. Shout out to my man Mill. Good looking, my nigga. You know, my people keep me they try to keep me nice, man. And I'm just blessed. I'm just blessed. We all blessed. Courtney blessed. All y'all on this broadcast is blessed because y'all here, y'all tuning in. I know y'all come check out Homegirl, but she about to do big things, baby. She about to do big things. She ain't just gonna be looking pretty. She about to be signing some of y'all checks. Y'all know she got the capacity to do it too, cause she ain't stupid. She just pretty smart. We gonna call you pretty smart. You know what I mean?
I'm co-hosting at the radio station. I'm gonna hit you up when I leave out of here.
Hey man, we got another video queued up, man. The one like what's right after that? And that could be like, you know, after that one we gonna wrap it up, man.
Right. What you doing, Ed?
Yeah, man. Run that right there. How long is it? 10 minutes. Yeah, that's good. We gonna run that. And this is the end game. This gonna give you some shit right here, yo. Y'all know I be trying to give it to you rough. All this stuff is on YouTube
Boy, what you doing
already. You know what I'm saying? Can't do that in a live show. You got to be talking Neff on the slide. Talking Neff on the slide. That's right. She my co-host, so you know. Yeah. But at the same time, let's cue that video up right quick, so she can make her rendezvous.
No, I wasn't making a rendezvous. I was just asking what was going on. That's my dude. Horton is my dude.
What's up, man? Hey, Courtney get 300 likes for a picture, yo. I said before, she get more likes than cats with albums out for a picture, for real. So she here. So when we doing them parties, I expect 300-400 people to show up. We about to get them parties jumping, so show up. We about to do the Courtney Smith parties. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do something, and it's going to be nice, too. It's going to be nice. We're going to put it together. We're going to take our time and put something together nice for y'all. Grown folk style. You know what I'm saying? Grown folk style. It's going to be classy. It's going to be nice.
It's going to have a
buffet.
Nice,
yeah, the food's going to be critiqued. You know what I'm saying? And if y'all got some, you know, ideas, let us know, you know, so we can work on it and make it.
Right. We was thinking of Cedar Gardens or the Ambassador. People say the Ambassador because it's closer, but Cedar Gardens, I think that would be more.
Right.
Like, you know.
I mean, it's nice, but it's nice. Either spot, and it's more. I know it's other spots. That's why I said, give us some input. Like y'all got other spots and stuff. Let's get some input.
Hey Horton, what do you think? Would you rather go to Cedar Gardens or would you rather go to Ambassador Hall? Which one? Let me know. Let me know your input. Because I'm thinking Cedar Gardens. It's called Diamonds now. I'm thinking Cedar Gardens.
I didn't even know that.
I didn't know till Ruben said it. Right, Ruben? You said it's Diamonds now?
It's Diamonds. What? Oh, so we okay. You got that, what's up, Merb? Shout out to Mickey Merb. Hey, man, I shouted the show out, man. You can, put in the description, how people can, tune into your show. Shout out, my man, Nature Nitty. You just had a birthday, brother. You gotta get with me, man. You know how we do it. Bust it up, man. I got some things going on, and I'm gonna need you to come and help me get these parties live, man. Cause Nature helped me get me live. Shout out to Mardia Beatrice Thomason. Let me tell you who Mardia is, man. Mardia is my man Eddie Taft's little sister. But back in the day when we was kids, she was to us was like this fine African girl. We used to sit on the porch, me and my man Brian Manning, and all of us, we'd sit out there, and when she walked past, she just like, oh Lord, she's so fine. She come out, and she didn't wear shoes like that. She was barefooted a lot, and she just had that real sexy African look. Even as, you know what I'm saying, we was all kids, but even as we got into teenagers and stuff, she was a beautiful, still is, you know what I'm saying, beautiful, wise woman, you know what I'm saying, and her brothers wasn't no joke. Rest in peace to my man Fonz, you know what I'm saying. That was her, one of her brothers, man, and I see that she tunes in, and I just wanted you to know that, you know, I remember all that stuff, you know, if she hears this, I remember all that stuff, and man, I know you're a good lady, you know what I'm saying. I know you turned out to be a good woman, and I'm thankful for that, to be around and have good friends. That's what the Facebook does for me. Like, you know, you had good friends you grew up with, you see them, everybody's, you know, handling. They got kids now, and they doing their thing, they living life, you know what I'm saying. Proud of y'all, man. Shout out to all y'all doing y'all thing, man. You know, we here on the level, dealing with it, living life. Hey, we're gonna get into this video. I'll be right back with you. You ready to roll out?
CEO Ben Smith is with me now, and Ben, good day to you. You were quite vocal on Sunday, got a lot of attention for what appeared to be a short but very succinct speech at the World War II Memorial. You said something to our producers a bit earlier today. You think the government is trying to provoke the veterans to do something. What do you mean by that?
And that's just not my statement. I mean, within the people who see things wrong here, who are looking at the shutdown, this can be absolutely planned, and it's a conversation topic. They want us to do something. They either want to diminish our voice or our significance, or draw contact, and they can crush us. I mean, you've got Sheila Jackson Lee, who is calling for martial law to end the shutdown. I mean, that's insane. That's getting rid of the Constitution of the United States, which is also what every service member has signed up to and including their life for, to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States against enemies both foreign and domestic. So we've got a government here that seems to be wanting to create the conditions that they want to take our Second Amendment. You know, they're going for the Second Amendment. They're trying to take guns from the veterans with PTSD and all those types of things. Voting rights. In the past elections, there was a lot of problems with the veterans in voting, getting the ballots back from overseas. And they want to discredit the military and get us to do something stupid so they can lock us down, get rid of, you know, you can call it a conservative Tea Party movement. It's more people who believe in the foundations of this country are the people that they're poking at, which are the citizens of this country.
A couple of weeks ago, this would have been filled with people.
It's been seen in 176 different countries and raised eyebrows from England to Everett. But now ratings for the YouTube sensation known as Tweaker Cam have dropped off considerably.
We have 1.5 million upset people. They want us to find entertainment for them. And we're just tickled to death that it's very boring.
Fed up with a homeless camp that's plagued his neighborhood for years, Gary Watts recently set up HD video cameras outside his Everett business. They captured grim images of people shooting up in broad daylight. Today, that very same street corner, dubbed Tweakerville, is a ghost town.
Can you imagine Christmas coming and then all at once, in a matter of 2 or 3 days, you see the place clean up almost totally?
Since the cameras went up, police arrested 16 people between here and a nearby park. The dealers seem to have disappeared, but where did the dozens of others go?
We're not sure, but we're hoping they went to one of these fine cities around us.
They were loading up with as many people, it's got to be dozens of people in the back of that thing.
Gosh.
They take them to a nearby Walmart, and then the Walmart is where I guess Metro buses or school buses will take them to the shelter. The question is, what shelter are they taking them to? Because I heard Tom say GRB is overcrowded and or not overcrowded, but at the capacity they had planned for. So I think they're, gosh, I certainly have that question. I don't know if we've answered it.
But that's what you mean when you say disorganized organization, because there is at least some kind of system. I mean, earlier we've seen reporters have situations where people come out of water like this, and it's late at night, and they're wet, and with their children and their pets, and they really have nowhere to go. At least they have a system where they're taking them to a Walmart where they can be inside and wait and figure out what comes next.
2 South Carolina sheriff's deputies are on paid leave after 2 women died in a flooded van the deputies were driving. Nicolette Green and Wendy Newton were being transported to mental health facilities when floodwaters overtook the van Tuesday night. In South Carolina, law enforcement officials are responsible for taking people to facilities where they are being involuntarily committed.
Newly revealed documents show the Trump administration took money away from FEMA and other federal agencies, apparently to pay for immigration detention centers.
I haven't asked to leave the property, but I'm guessing that's about what's to happen.
Yeah, so I think that's what they're going towards. What was your name again, sir? I'm sorry, Senator?
Senator Jeff Merkley. U.S. Senator Jeff Merkley. I've now been asked to leave the property, and so I'll comply with that.
2 weeks ago, Senator Jeff Merkley tried to get a tour of an immigrant detention center at an abandoned Walmart building in Brownsville, Texas.
Yes, ICE is the conduit for OR to get them to the facility. So we have these are families. These are male households, and they're.
About the wall, about, you can call it a barrier, you can call it whatever you want, but essentially we need protection in our country. We're going to make it good. The people of our country want it. I have never had so much support as I have in the last week over my stance for border security, for border control, and for, frankly, the wall or the barrier.
They are all around us, invisible and unsuspected. 3 million members of a secretive society older than the American Republic. For nearly 300 years, generations of Freemasons have obeyed their oaths, hidden their rituals, and maintained their silence until now.
What is the secret? See, that's what they don't want to talk about.
There's nothing wrong with secrets.
I think it adds a facet of fascination to it.
In almost every mysterious and controversial event, from Jack the Ripper to the assassination of John F. Kennedy, you can, if you look hard enough, find Masonic involvement.
We know who killed JFK. We know what happened at Area 51. Don't ask.
Those conspiracy theories have been out there for a long time. I think part of it is the fact that we've never been out front and open about what we're doing.
We will finally complete the biometric entry-exit visa tracking system, which we need desperately. For years, Congress has required biometric entry-exit visa tracking systems. In my administration, we will ensure that this system is in place. And I will tell you, it will be on land, it will be on sea, it will be in air. We will have a proper tracking system.
And that's the people in the government.
Make sense of this. We're looking at the World War II memorial there in Washington. I mean, it's essentially a sidewalk that comes off the mall. Why would the government put up barricades, pay people, spend the money, so that they can install barricades to keep people out? Why would that happen?
Well, there's such political dissension in the country. They're thumbing their noses at each other. And the thing is, the American citizen and the American service member are now the battlefield. They're trying to fight over us or to get votes. And it's become a political war game. It's like a cold civil war out there for which way the country wants to go. And the right isn't the right anymore. There's no real political figures who believe in the Constitution. And, you know, I could name a few of them who I would kind of trust on the Hill. It's amazing.
Only a few.
They're using us.
Yeah, and you've made the point clear that, you know, you think the military is being used as pawns in this whole fight.
All right, now y'all just seen that video. It says there, the wall is to keep Americans locked in when a catastrophic event takes place. Why would you want to keep us locked in? Why would you want to keep people locked in an event like that? It's kind of fucked up, yo. A lot of stuff is going down, man. I mean, it's been a long time looming. This is kind of like the continuation of the 2000 millennia thing. Everybody thought something was going to happen during the 2000. And it did happen, but it didn't happen until 2001. Remember the blackout in New York? That happened. But it happened the next year later. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I mean, this one of them things, man. But now, we didn't have social media the way we have it now back in 2001. There was no Facebook, there was no Instagram, there wasn't none of that back then. Now we got these phones. I'm telling you, these phones will fuck you up, man. These phones do it all, man. I'm telling you, these phones do more than just you going on social network and stuff. They do a whole lot more if you know what to do with it. This joint is a metal detector. You can find studs in your wall with it. You can use it to sense electromagnetic pulses with this motherfucker.
You've been studying your phone, huh?
No, this is apps. Your phone do it too. These phones do a whole lot more than what we think. And that's how like you learn through them apps. You going through them apps and stuff. And you be like, damn, they do all that. The metal detector. You can find studs in your wall when you doing your Like say if you want to nail a picture up on the wall and you want to find where the stud at, so you don't fuck up the wall. You can use your phone to find it, and it has an app for that. You can use it as a universal remote.
Right, I know that.
You know what I'm saying?
I know that already.
And if you can do that, you can do a whole bunch of other stuff for people that really know what they're doing. You could do some untold stuff with this, and that's what kind of makes it scary. These phones, God damn it, these phones! You know, you ever realize that like most of your information is on this Mamma Jamma? And if it goes dead or something, yeah, you got the cloud and everything, but still, like, you relying on all that. It ain't. Remember, you used to have to write phone numbers down and keep it somewhere.
I remember we had to memorize.
Yeah, to memorize stuff.
Write down. We used to have to memorize numbers.
Do you know we're in an age right now where people don't even learn penmanship? They don't learn. They don't teach them babies penmanship. They don't teach them how to write no more.
I don't write cursive and accept my signature.
I mean, yeah. But
I don't know why. I just don't accept my signature. That's it.
Because you caught in that generation?
Wow. I never thought of that. I do not write in cursive like that. I
can still write, y'all. I can still write.
I can write in cursive, but it's like a doctor. Like, you can barely understand it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you making shit fancy, but at the same time,
I don't make it fancy. It just come out like it just come out like that.
They don't teach like that. That was a given. And we didn't realize it. We thought that was a regular shit that you just had to do. Now it's like everything typing.
Right.
Now.
Right. Exactly.
And they don't really teach it like that.
Exactly. So penmanship is.
But your signature used to be your hand cock.
Yeah.
Your signature was like your word is bond.
Mm-hmm.
You sign your name on something that was your word is bond. Now it's like you could just type that shit, so it don't mean
word
nothing
is
no
like.
more.
But exactly. Now they typing everything, so they started that in college.
Yeah.
College really enforced that.
What's up, Reese? What's up, Kenny Young? What's up, Jerry Petito?
What we got on here?
You know, thank y'all for tuning in when y'all do, man. You know, Cousin Reese, you know, he got an album out. Check him out. You know, just punch in Reese Johnson, all that's gonna come out. Punch in Kenny Young. You know, I gotta give him some light, because Kenny Young, he got a country band. But they based out of Jersey. He all over the place with it. We did a video with him before. Nice brother to deal with, man. White guy, white brother. But he real with his, man. We had a great time. You know what I'm saying? And Jerry Petito. Jerry Petito has a show here. She's very supportive of Hamilton Radio. She does her thing, man.
Jarvis, what's going on, Jay?
Petito. Tune in
Chicago. I call Jarvis Chicago.
She's in her own zone. I'm still at, hold up. When does Jerry Petito show come on? Let me give her a little spot.
Jarvis, you gotta fly down here.
Cause she do the same thing for me.
You gotta fly from Chicago to New Jersey.
What'd you say? No, I'm saying like the show date, cause she's talking to her people over her live, but she don't realize it's like on the live. It's on
my bad.
But yeah, Jerry Petito. When she come on? Tuesdays at 5. Check her out. We're gonna give her some shine. See how much I had to go through just to give you your shine? See, we do right. I know you looking out. And keep looking out. You know what I'm saying? Jerry Petito help out, man. You know what I'm saying? She do her thing at Hamilton Radio. For real. And I'm like, we gonna do big things this year, man. We gonna do a lot of big things this year. All right, so back to you, Courtney. What you got going on over there?
I got Jessica on live. I got Jarvis Walker from Chicago. He's from Chicago.
All right, what up?
He wanna come on a radio show. I watch his live sometimes, and he be freestyling.
Word up.
He got a little bit, and I wanna talk about Chicago, cause Chicago crime rate. I call him Chicago.
Yeah.
Cause he cool, but Chicago crime rate is a little bit ridiculous right now.
Hey, I got this app with the CB radio.
Chi-Town's my grandparents' hometown.
Wow.
Check this out.
Wow.
When you download the Police Scanner app and stuff like that,
right,
they always have the default radio station at Chicago because there's more shit that happen in Chicago than anywhere else in the United States on a daily basis. So they'll have the CBs, like when you download these apps, they already have it stationed on to Chicago.
Man, Windy City.
Before you put your state in, like if you're in Jersey, I had to put Jersey in, but on default, it was already on Chicago.
Wow.
And to show you how many listeners you get, it'd be like thousands of people listening to Chicago. It'd be thousands of people listening to Chicago CB radio, and that's the dispatch radio. You know, the ones the fire department use, the police use, and all that. You hear the calls that come in. You hear everything that's going on. Shootings going on, hostage situation, all that shit.
Yes, Starmaid, Jessica, I miss you too. As soon as they open Regal up, I'll be back.
Regal shut down?
No, Regal's still up. Regal's still they got Justin got his restaurant still popping, but the bar closed. I don't know what's going on with the bar. Hey, Justin on here too. Justin, what's going on with the bar? When they going to open the bar back up at Regal? Let me know, because the barmaid on here and the owner of the restaurant on here.
That's free promotion for y'all. We going worldwide with it, though. We worldwide with it. They see me up there, they probably don't even know. This nigga got a radio station and a radio show. They see me in there, they don't know that. We've been going hard for a long time, so this ain't no small time thing, but it's better that you learn now than later.
Justin, let me know.
Yeah, no.
Let me see.
Yeah, we've been making our numbers, man.
Yes, you was the best barmaid. You already know it.
But see, you can't even curse in
Hold
there.
on, what?
You can't curse. You can't curse in Regal
Hold
One.
on, what? Yo, you can't curse in Regal
They
One.
kick you out.
Mary would let you know.
Only complaint I got is, man, my man, whoever working in the kitchen, I sat in there for like an hour one time waiting for the order, man. We got to do better on that.
He on
yeah,
now.
my man, I sat in there for an hour waiting for order. Now, the bar part, they straight up there. That cooking thing. Now, the food is good. That's why we go there.
Good. Right.
Especially late night. We want that food. But, bro, we need it more expeditiously. Shit.
You know why?
We need it more expeditiously, man. We ain't asking like no fast food stuff, but the food be good, bro. So I ain't gonna knock y'all on that, man. Y'all need to sponsor this show, man. I give you all the promotion you want to. But you know what? We already got our sponsors. I'm just saying, though. Y'all do got food, you know, good food. And I like the way y'all do your thing. And it got history. Regal One got history down there. Regal One is one of the last standing bars from back in the heyday.
Monday, they should be 100% open. The bar should be open and everything.
Regal One was a bar that's been standing there for a long time. We talk about early 70s, even probably before I was born. Regal One was there. I had a lot of good experiences in that bar too. So shout out to East Trenton, yo. Shout out to East Trenton. Shout out to the whole Trenton, you know. But right
Just
now,
to say, this is not fast food. We could.
Yeah, I knew he was gonna say that. I knew he was gonna say that part. Hey man, I already know, man. I know it ain't fast food, and it be good. So don't take no offense. I'm just saying though.
He said this is not fast food.
Just saying though. I'm just saying though. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm just saying though. You know what I mean? Come on now. I waited for an hour for mine, and I didn't even have that much. I didn't order that much. That was my gripe. But at the same time, it may not be like that on every night. It probably ain't like that on every night, you know. Because there's been times I went there, I got my order, just left. You know what I mean? But some nights when you really be hungry, you be mad. That motherfucker, man, you be mad. You be like, yo, man, I'm hungry. I want to eat. I done order like 10 wings. I'm ready to chomp down, goddamn. Y'all niggas know how it is, man. Late night, man. You want to get your wing on. You know, you want to put on your blue cheese and your barbecue sauce, or you want to put your hot sauce on.
But I wish Justice was open till like 4 o'clock in the morning.
But we about to create the spot for that.
That would have been banging.
But we about to create the spot for that. We can do it. We on the verge of creating a new spot for that type of venue.
Thank you, Jess.
Put your wings on, man. We about to put it together, man. Hey, the Monk Show, we came a long way, man. I'd like to talk about some of that. It's 12:46. We started late, but you know, we got some extra time. But this is what I love about it. It's like we 17 minutes over. You know, it's got to be precise. But all right, but let me say this right here, cause I gotta.
We close out. We got to close out.
I gotta say this right here, man.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I appreciate you.
We came a long way. Things is different now, and I've been saying this for a minute. Like y'all see different progress. People that are regular tune-ins to this show that's been tuning in for years, like my man Atlanta Joseph. He's been here with my man Rango. He's still been involved for it's been years now. It's been like 4 years now. All the people that came in the past shows, a lot of y'all still tune in. And I be like, damn, they still around, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm thankful for that. You know, we in 2019 and we still doing our thing and we moving forward. So thank you for all y'all support, man. I really appreciate all of that. You know what I mean? And the station does too. Me, Ruben, and Gino, you know what I mean? You know, and all the people that help Hamilton Radio be what it is today. All the celebrities that came through here, man. We had heavy hitters. We talk about your Howard Mandels, your William Shatners. We haven't had the girl from your insurance company, Flojo, on here. You know, you see her every day. You get her in your mail.
On the website soon.
What you say, Ruben?
I said they'll be posted on the website soon.
Okay.
You know how I feel now, like having that girl Flo from insurance, and then you get mail, and her face be on there, be like, damn, I just talked to her. So it's different for us, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, I just talked to her. I know this lady like a little bit, like, you know, she called to the station, we all busted up with her, you know what I'm saying? She's been on Hamilton Radio, but you get your mail every morning with this lady face on it. You know what I'm saying? We like, how you deal with that? Everybody know who you is. You can't escape that. Even when you ain't got no makeup, you know. We know who you is. So all that stuff is cool, yo. You know what I mean? We leaping tall bounds. We on some Superman shit right now. You know, far as radio station wise. You know, I mean, look. I'm humble, but sometimes you do gotta talk a little shit. Because there's been motherfuckers out there that's been getting over with stealing our style, stealing our shit, and then other people.
Guess what,
other people come and try to accuse us of doing it.
Guess what, though?
And people don't even live in Trenton. See, we're dealing with the world, and I'm like preparing
myself. But guess
myself.
what?
It feel like
you still #1 though, so it don't even matter.
Like all that shit
it don't even matter, Ruben.
Because
we're still #1.
It brings us to this point. You know what I'm saying? Like to be able to be prepared for all the bullshit and the trolling and stuff that's gonna come now. Like I don't have to go back and forth so much with anybody.
You don't have to go back and forth because you're #1. Now if it would have changed, if you would have went down to #2 because you said something, then it would have been a problem.
I mean,
but we're still #1.
Even if it was, we done did what it did already. Like these people still have yet to do that. That's the point.
They're gonna say when you're #1, they're gonna hate. When you're #1, they're gonna hate. Let them hate. Let them say what they're gonna say. As long as we know what it is, it don't even matter what they say. Want some real sip?
We're drinking milky drinks on the Monk Show.
We're about to close it out, right, Ruben?
We got all the show. Ruben don't determine when we close out. I determine when we close out. Cause guess what? He chilling, but you gotta work in the morning.
You know I gotta get up in the morning, and I want to get something to eat.
Yeah, I'm kind of hungry too. We do gotta eat. Yeah, we gotta eat. Cause this milky drink make you hungry.
It do. All right.
Hey, yo.
It's been real.
I hope y'all enjoyed the show tonight.
I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Please check us out next week. You know, same time. Same time. You know, it don't be 10 on the dot. But you know we coming though. You know we coming.
Some weeks it do. Just
check us out on the Black Person time.
Hey yo, I like to thank everybody support the show and the radio station. Yo, we be having a good time up here. We be chilling. 2019, we gonna be maxing, chillaxing.
What's this number again so they can call in?
What is it? 90 something. Make a
609.
Come on, man. I'm just
807.
Say it again.
2492. You can call in.
Say it again one more time.
609-807.
807. That's what they remember.
2492.
2492. You know why I get that confused? Because that's in like my number. Some of that number's in my number. Y'all figure that out. I ain't gonna give y'all the whole number if you blowing my phone up and talking some crazy shit. But that's why I get it confused. Some of my number, and I'm like, wow. You know what I'm saying? But we had a good time,
We had a
man.
good night.
It's
A good night. It's always a good
but
night.
Yo, prepare
always
for that
glad to have
shutdown,
you guys tuning in. Appreciate you. Wish you to come back next week.
If the shutdown happened, y'all be all right. If y'all tuned into the night show, y'all can go back and listen to the show, share it around. You know what I'm saying? And big up the people who made the videos. The people videos I played tonight. You know, go subscribe to their videos, man. Get educated, man. Stop bullshitting, man. It's not a joke. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we having a good time, man. It's 2019. We on a whole different level, man. We gotta go get something to eat after drinking some milky
Y'all
drink.
have a good night. Thanks for
Peace.
tuning in.
I'm about to enjoy this milky drink.